am so tired of these racist, homophobic men saying that K-pop is weird. Oh, okay, bet. It's weird? All right. Okay, what is this? That's your bias. And the jersey is how much? 100 and what though? Yeah. That's your bias, my brother. This too. This is a bias shirt. You know what's hilarious? What is this? That is a photo card. My brother in arms. That is a motherfucking photo card. We need to be so for real right now. Be so for real. And you have fantasy teams, my nigga. You don't got that in K-pop. That's more delusional. You're in a fantasy team. Bro, shut up, bro. You don't want to admit it? We are two sides of the same coin, okay? Two birds getting stoned, all right? Like, we are the same. Sports. Woo, 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 woo. Fly, Eagles, fly, fly. K-pop. Oh my God. Sorry, that just came out. Just came out of me. Two completely different things, two completely different worlds, and two completely different fan bases. We're talking about groups of people coming together, training incredibly hard to accomplish the same goal, being the best at what they do, the absolute best at what they do. Meanwhile, K-pop... Wait. It's only you, baby. Recently, I went to a thrift store that specialized in selling sports merchandise. And after looking around for 10 minutes, I realized I was in NFL K-pop Nara. It was literally a copy of a K-pop store down to the photo card binder, trading cards I saw on the counter. However, while being in the epicenter of NFL K-pop Nara, this is not a concept or a thought that just now hit me in that moment. I've seen shocking similarities between sports and K-pop for a couple years now. And for a fan base, sports, that can be so heavily homophobic, xenophobic, sexist, racist, all the phobics and ists to K-pop and its fans, it sure is similar, huh? As both a K-pop stan and a sports fan, here are all my favorite teams, by the way. I'll just put them up on the screen so you can see. Yep. What does this say about me as a person? I don't know. Today we're going to dive into the striking similarities of both K-pop stans and sports fans, and just K-pop and sports in general. From surface level things like merch or the way that both franchises market to fans, to parasocial relationships, my favorite word in the world, and how it affects fans, and the deeper reason as to why K-pop idols and its fans aren't taken seriously and seen as a joke. Meanwhile, sports and sports fans are. Back to you in the studio, Bob. I feel like a news reporter with that. In any sport, it's pretty rare and kind of unheard of to not have a favorite player. Like, I'm sure those people exist, but those people are weird. While sports is more seen as collectivism and everything you do is for the overall good of the team, you want the team to win, you want the team to end up on top. Mostly everyone favors at least one player, from Steph Curry to LeBron James, Josh Allen, Sonny, George Kittle. Those are some of my personal favorites. My biases, if you may. Everyone has their favorite athlete, and you can tell who the favorites are by the amount of followers some of these motherfuckers have. Do you know the job, the occupation of the two people that are the most followed on Instagram? I'll give you a second. 1 second. It's not an actor. It's not a musician. They are both soccer players. So you can see how normal it is to have at least one favorite, at least one bias that is like a part of sports culture and sports community. They're literally your biases. Like Jalen Hurts is your bias. And it's so funny to me when locals, that's what we call you non-K-pop stans, ask like terminology. If I go, oh, he's my bias, and you go, what's the bias? But you literally, like, nigga, you're wearing a LeBron James jersey right now. What are you talking about? How did this happen? Sometimes I just black out and wake up and this jersey is on. My bias in NCT Dream is Chunlo.
Oh shit.
My bias in the Golden State Warriors is Steph Curry. Me and Chunlo have the same bias. Part of the reason why Chunlo is my bias is because he loves Steph Curry. He just like me for real. Sometimes you can meet your bias. Chunlo met his... Cholo and Steph Curry. Cholo got sent off. Oh my god. They took a picture together. And if you think that picture is not my wallpaper, you must be out of your fucking mind. Having a bias in K-pop and in sports makes so much sense. There are like 30 niggas per group. Like in soccer, there are at least 11 players on the pitch, babes. On the pitch. 11 players on the pitch, unless if you are holding, trying to fight Sunny. That shit happened 2 years ago at this point, and I'm still upset about it. That literally felt like a hate crime. That actually felt like a hate crime. 10 people on the court for NBA. 11 people on the field per team. This is all per team, by the way, for NFL. That's not even the full amount for the amount of niggas on the team. There are a lot of niggas on each team. And for K-pop, I would say an average of like 7 members per group are there. I feel like around 7 or 8. There are so many people in these groups and in these teams that it makes sense that you would gravitate towards at least one person. This angle took so long to set up, and I don't even know if I like it. What do you think? That's what I think too. I saw someone compare positions in K-pop to positions in sports. K-pop, we have dancer, vocal, rapper, visual, which I don't know if visual is still a thing anymore, but like that's actually insane that your position could be visuals. And then there's also like main dancer, main vocal, sub rapper. And then on top of that, there's the units, performance line, vocal line, hip hop unit. For sports, there is forward, center back, striker, point guard, quarterback, tight end, shooting guard. This made me think of a game that I like to call What Positions I Think Idols Would Play in Sports. Starting off with Jungkook. He's the first person I thought of, obviously. I think because he's so competitive, he would be a really good tight end specifically. I feel like he can run fast. I feel like we've seen him run fast, and I also feel like he's not afraid to make contact. Jungkook would be excited to run over people. Like, I think that would be one way he would get his stress out. Next, we have Chunlo, which point guard for obvious reasons. Johnny, he would be a position that is constantly helping other teammates. Like, I feel like Johnny is a really good helper and a really good person that has your back, and he can shine when he needs to, but I feel like he's just a very good person to rely on. And then Ganuk from ZB1, I said I can see him being the star defensive player in college and getting drafted as a first round pick into the NFL. Very specific. To close it out, Wooyoung, my new bias, striker in soccer. When he first debuted as a, soccer player in the Premier League, shit ton of red cards, getting into fights with people left and right, talking so much shit. But then he was like, okay, this is for the good of the team. And, me doing this, I don't give a fuck about me, right? Me doing this is hurting my teammates, so I need to stop. And he's calmed down, but like, he still has that like fire in him. He just applies it to playing soccer. And I'm gonna get off the floor now. Oh my God. Wolf Town, you got something to say? Right. I feel like the things cup sleeves are most similar to in sports is tailgates. Tailgates are a social gathering at which an informal meal is served from the back of a parked vehicle, typically in the parking lot of a sports stadium. Now, if you're a K-pop stan, there's actually a chance you've done this before if said group you went to see on tour was performing at a stadium. What is a cup sleeve? A cup sleeve event is a fan-organized gathering at a cafe or bubble tea shop to celebrate an idol or group's special occasion. It crossed my mind to do a Steph Curry cup sleeve. Like, oh my God. And Chunlo would come. And if he didn't come, he would post about it and he'd be so upset. Imagine a joint LeBron James and Steph Curry cup sleeve. Are you fucking kidding me? One of the multiple similarities between K-pop and K-pop stans and sports fans is how community-based the communities could be. Tailgates where fans get together hours before, bringing food, sometimes made from home, becoming friends with strangers that they just met there, talking to them for hours, all because they share a common interest, which is the team that they like. Cup sleeves can usually happen before you go to a concert. So you go to the cup sleeve hours before and, make friends with strangers, talking to them. Then you'll go to a random dance play, also talking to people, making friends with people, all over a shared interest, which is the K-pop group. So just like how when it's game day and you don't really go to the game like an hour before, you usually go hours before to tailgate, to do things that are community based and hang out with people. You go to the K-pop concert hours before, maybe participating in a random dance play, meeting people, going to a cup sleeve, and then you go to the K-pop concert. Quick question: what is the difference between these two articles of clothing? Nothing. And I think because K-pop is so bias focused, this should be a thing for everything. As normal as football jerseys are with one person on it, every single sport having this that's like a requirement, that should be a thing for every single member of every single group. So the NFL actually started using these like light up bracelets, which is literally the poor man's version of a light stick. Do I think the NFL should have actual light sticks? Absolutely. Do I think they would be a success? I think that the people who are like real true collectors when it comes to whatever sport they're into, I think they would get it. You know, those motherfuckers who have the Jar Jar Binks cup from like 1987, like those are the motherfuckers that would have that. Do I think it would be like a normal thing that would like sell out and do well? I don't. Once again, we are talking about and generalization, but we are talking about the same men who think that men wearing makeup is gay. So as soon as they get a whiff of finding out that light sticks are from the K-pop industry, they will automatically call it gay and want it out of their precious straight football, where they're sweaty men and they're grunting. And their job is to literally tackle and jump on each other. They're already logos, so like you already have everything, you know? You already have what you could put on the light sticks. I think that should be fire. And then whoever goes to the Super Bowl each year, they can make a custom, it could be like a different design of whenever they go to the Super Bowl, and it could just be like you get it while they sell it, and then when it's done, they're not selling it anymore. Like, and you could sell that shit for like fucking $10,000, bro. Somebody would buy it. The wristbands and the light sticks are used to symbolize community. We are all individuals, but when we come together in this stadium, in this arena, we are representing one team. Wait, let me get my light stick. Hold on. Yeah, bitch. Hey, if anybody wants to send me a Stray Kids light stick and an ateez light stick, do that. Oh my god, I should put the mic on the light stick. Light sticks are a way to show off your identity. Woo, look, somebody gave me these two charms. So cute. I.e., what group you're into, what group you represent, and what group you feel represents you. I represent NCT because I feel like NCT represents me. With anything you're into, you like it because you relate to it in one way or another. You feel like it has a piece of your identity in that specific thing. Bloop. With both a light stick and a jersey, one glance represents a lot about you. Like me with this pillow. There's so many assumptions you can make about me because I have this pillow. What do you assume? You know what? You know what gets me? When I'm like, oh, I'm a Changbin bias, and then people are like, oh yeah, you look like one. What the fuck does that mean? I'll give examples because I'm nothing if not savvy. That made no sense. I just wanted to say that. If I see somebody walking down the street with a NCT 127 light stick, I'm going to automatically assume that they're really, really funny. They like R&B and hip hop. There's a chance that they smoke the devil's lettuce. There's also a chance that they're queer. If I see somebody walking down the street with a Jets jersey, there's so much trauma to unpack there. I can assume that A, they're in pain. B, they're good at lying to themselves. And C, to a fault, they're incredibly loyal. If I see somebody walking down the street with a ZB1 light stick, I can assume that they're gay. There's so much one can assume about you, what you're going through, and your personality. So the next time you're walking down the street and you see someone wearing a Jets jersey, just give them a pat on the back. You know, just ask them how they're doing. The answer is bad, but you know, it doesn't hurt to ask.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, crazy is being played. So crazy, 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 crazy. Act like an angel, just like crazy. Da, 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 da. Also, this photo card, I would actually lose my mind too. Oh my god, she looks so good. That's really crazy. Crazy, crazy.
I think the country is Argentina.
What?
Is it?
See?
Yeah.
No fucking way! No fucking.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Williams. Ah! No! Ah! Are you kidding me? Holy shit! Holy shit!
The red one? The red one?
Huh? Oh, I'm just reading today's paper. What it says? Oh, it says your mom, and then it also says you're gay. So new edition, I guess. Why did I do that? That was the funniest and most gratifying compilation I have put together in my entire YouTube career. It's the sports fans that'll judge the K-pop stans and call K-pop gay, but these are the same motherfuckers. That nigga, we have the same binder. We buy from the same Etsy shop. What are you talking about? We are both buying pictures of cards with men on them and screaming our little heads off when we pull someone we like. That is the most bitchless. You know you're talking to a virgin when you ask who they pulled and they said Jalen Hurts or Lino. Like, damn, that's crazy. I'm kidding. This is the same as this, is the same as this, is the same as this. And those prices are disgusting. Once again, this shit is so similar. Sports and K-pop is really so similar, and there's nothing else that is as similar as these two specific things. Look at Songhwa. Look at Songhwa, man. What a pretty guy. There should be joint K-pop and sports events. Like, there absolutely should be, and I will be the one to make them. Like, give me a couple months, I will be the one to make them. Pull up, y'all. Pull up to my fucking, I have to do Chunla X Curry. There's things in sports that should be taken from K-pop and things in K-pop that should be taken from sports. And I'll tell you what they should be taking. Number one, sports should absolutely, and I'm taking the damn dog. Sports should absolutely be taking this whole photo card situation. And I know they have trading cards. I mean photo cards. I mean selfies. I mean selfie photo cards. I literally went to a Formula One race to not actual, like, you know what I mean? To watch race. Anyway, and I met this girl, and of course I met her, and she's a fucking K-pop stan. She literally gave me fucking F1 photo cards. There are a bunch of F1 photo cards that already exist on Etsy. Do you know the fucking numbers that a goddamn Josh Allen Selka photo card would do? Are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? So that's one. This is so cute. I love this angle. I'm gonna do it for a music video. Oh, money, okay, money, blah. Money, okay. Fantasy leagues and March Madness. Okay, if March Madness was a thing, though, the fan wars would be even more insane than they are already, and I don't know how that's possible. Like, imagine if we have a bracket tournament where groups choose their best songs and compete against each other until there is a final two left. That would be fucking cool as fuck. And it's like kind of similar to the like Mnet and whatever comeback shows that they go on, but not really, because they don't promote, like, they promote their newest songs. Like, so, and it's not like, imagine if it was like, okay, BTS, P1 Harmony, Stray Kids, ateez, and they all choose their best song. And then, you know, which I guess is Kingdom, but no, because it wouldn't put them through trauma. And Kingdom is so high stakes. This would just be like, we're just doing this to like have fun. It would carry less weight and it'd just be like more fun to do. But like, imagine how fucking cool that would be. Like, ugh. Now, would the K-pop fans take this in a fun and lighthearted way? No. But it's fun to dream. Now, I made a TikTok about this, but honestly, sports fans were cooking with fantasy teams. Like, they absolutely were cooking with fantasy teams. Maybe not the gambling aspect of it, but I feel like fantasy teams for K-pop idols would be so sick. It would be like a weekly, imagine having Super M, but like weekly and not just exclusive to fucking SM idols, bro. That's like so fucking cool. It doesn't have to be a show, but it could be, where K-pop fans could vote on what idols they want to be in the same group, right? And then they could perform either their own, they could create their own song or do a cover. It kind of reminds me of like the special stages that happen now, but it's not really a group. It's just like idols coming together. Like, it could actually be a fucking group. I have been waiting this entire video to wear my mclaren. Okay. Marketing. In terms of marketing, K-pop is focused on getting the most content out as much as possible on a very consistent basis. And that content prioritizes showing off the personality of said idols. So because of showing off the personality of the idol, and on top of so much content coming out, the parasocial relationship between the K-pop stan and the K-pop idol is strengthened. Hence, you are spending $1,000 for Barricade. And out of all sports that do this, I feel like the most similar sport that does it is...
Nothing, just an incident.
A lot of people say that McLaren has the youngest demographic because whoever is on the social media team is absolutely Gen Z. But there are so many videos of Formula One drivers doing like silly challenges or playing like fun little games to show off their personality. For F1, yes, you can show off your personality a little bit when you're driving, but you are covered. Your entire body is covered, your head is covered, and then your head and body, or at least your body, is covered by a car. So in order to connect with these drivers, you need to seek out content where you can see them and see them showing off their personality. Do they have dry humor? Are they, you know, off the cuff, like repeatedly funny, like, you know, Daniel Ricciardo? That is shown through content like YouTube videos or Drive to Survive. For example, I did not give two shits about Carlos Sainz until I watched the most recent season of Drive to Survive. And now I really like him. And I'm rooting for him. We're rooting for you. I wouldn't be able to have that connection with him. Parasocial alert. Parasocial alert. But I wouldn't be able to know his personality if I didn't, you know, watch the videos he was doing with Alex Albon. So now there's going to be a lot Albon. So now there's going to be a lot more fans of him, and there's obviously going to be a lot more fans of you in general if you're putting out content. And like, they have a podcast, and I watched the video of them when they went to Australia and they were like holding snakes and stuff, you know? So yeah, F1's content and the way they put out content is the most similar to K-pop, which is why it's not far-fetched at all and makes so much sense that there are a shit ton of F1 fans who are K-pop stans. Also, can we bring back a Grand Prix in Korea, please? And when it happens, invite me. F1 and K-pop has such a similar way of marketing. I feel like the parasocial relationships are also pretty similar. So they're going to be the same fans and they overlap. And speaking of fans, the worst part. Every single day, the same exact conversation occurs in every single sport. Who is the GOAT? Ronaldo or Messi? Every single day, there's a conversation of people fighting aggressively over who their top 5 is in basketball.
If LeBron played when Jordan did, then he would have been amazing. And if Jordan...
Bloody fucking blah. Lewis Hamilton fans are still fighting over the Abu Dhabi race in 2021. I'm not saying if I was a LH fan, I wouldn't be doing the same. I'm just saying it is 2025 and we're still talking about it. So that should show how much sports fans like to argue. You know who else likes to argue? You know who else likes to argue? All K-pop stans do is argue. This person copied this choreography. This person copied this song. They'll literally argue within the same fandom. And there have been countless stories from both worlds of fans just going way too far. Way too far is like an understatement. Whether the team they like wins or loses, destroying cities, harassing athletes and idols on social media, sending death threats, and stalking. And out of all of the communities that exist, out of all the things to be fixated over, I feel like the worst fans are through music or sports. And I think it's because those specific things can be so integral to your identity. So that's why, you know, fans seem to take it a little more seriously and way more intense than other things. I mean, you know, 5 days out your mother's hoo-ha and you have a Jets onesie shoved on you before you have complete function over your body and motor skills. Some people literally feel as attached as they do with their birthday with sports teams and K-pop groups. So it is very serious for a lot of people. Too serious, I would say. This is also something that is really specific to sports and K-pop, but you can only like one group. You can only like one team. And I definitely think international fans for K-pop, this is not really as much of a thing as it is in, you know, with K-netizens in South Korea. But like with K-nets, you just like one group. You just support one group. And you know how I know that supporting and listening to multiple groups is not normal? There's a term for us. It's multi-stan. Multi-stan. We have to clarify that we listen to multiple different groups, which is like fucking insane. And when I say I like the Eagles, when I say I like the Niners, when I say I like the Bills, when I say I used to like the Chiefs, when I say that I tune into like multiple games because I like different, you know, quarterbacks and stuff like that, the amount of weird looks I get is fucking crazy. That's just not a thing. You like one team and it is forced upon you. You only liking and you only being able to support one group and that being the norm. I think a lot of people have the belief that if you support one group, you can't support the other, because if you support two groups, your supporting of one group will hurt the other. You think that if I listen to ateez, I can't listen to Stray Kids because streaming Stray Kids goes directly against ateez, which obviously fucking not. And it's so ironic because they're not only co-workers, but some of them are very, very close friends. So you being... It really gets me. The specific fandoms really, really get me. Because how are you a stay and you're shitting on ateez and ateeni? Like, literally half of the members of each group are not close or at least friends. A lot of these idols, you think just because they're in different groups or in different companies, they've never met or they've never interacted. But like, Heung and Subin have been close friends for years because they trained in the same company together before Heung went to KQ. Like, these paths, the idol world is actually so fucking small. So there's a very, very high chance that a lot of these idols are like very close friends or at least good friends. Supporting Jungkook, but then you're like actively shitting on Bangchan. You're not supporting Jungkook because Jungkook and Bangchan are friends. And if you're shitting on someone's friend, then you're therefore hurting that person. Okay, this has been on my mind for a minute because I see these comments all the time and I don't really see this like talked about at all, but I literally see this under every single music video, K-pop or not, but especially with K-pop, the comment of who's gonna support them no matter what, who's gonna support them till the end, who's gonna support them until they're rotting away in a grave. And I'm always like, no. Supporting someone no matter what sounds like we're in a cult, which K-pop is cultish, so I guess that makes sense. Supporting someone no matter what is how we excuse deplorable and disgusting behavior. Supporting someone no matter what is how we are complicit in justifying monsters doing this disgusting behavior. No matter who it is, no matter if I've been listening to them for one stream or since I was 2 years old. I don't give a fuck who it is. Never in my life will I ever support anyone, no matter what. You must be fucking insane, bitch. You must be fucking insane. What did Kendrick Lamar say? Bitch, I cut my granny off if she don't see how I see it. We need to be so for real, bitch. That recent case, and I could be talking about two niggas at this point, but whatever case, when I say that recent case comes to mind for you, should be a perfect example and a wake-up call to you not knowing who these niggas are, for real. They're just men and humans. And I don't know if you know this, but some humans do really bad shit. And I also don't know if you know this, but there's definitely a correlation between the more famous you become, the more you do shitty acts, because when you're famous, people tend to excuse your deplorable and disgusting behavior. So there is literally a trend with the more famous I am, I'm probably going to get away with something. So honestly, if a person is famous, you should trust them less. And you're supposed to like a sports team no matter what. You're literally supposed to support them no matter what. So no, you should not support these groups or these idols and these athletes and these teams no matter what. You should have morals, and you should not blindly support someone, because that's not what being a fan is. I know since we're talking about similarities and stuff, but I would say the difference between these idols and these athletes is that athletes do not rely on parasocial relationships. Like, that is not the most important part of them being famous, if that makes sense. It's 100% based on their athletic ability, their talent. Are they delivering in their job? Plenty of examples of an athlete doing something not good, to say the least, but as long as they're hitting them threes, they're on that team. It's when they start to, falter in terms of their athletic performance, that's when we're at risk of job security, not when we beep that. In K-pop, the most important thing isn't the dancing or the singing or the performing. To the K-pop industry, it is the parasocial relationships that you have with these idols. That's why you see so many stans fighting tooth and nail for their life, which is why you get comments being like, who else is gonna support this idol no matter what? For a lot of the K-pop stans who act certain ways, if it wasn't actually about, if it was just about the music and it was just about the performance and the dancing, it wouldn't be this intense. You would not feel a need to dox somebody if it was just about the album being good. Boom, 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 boom. What's that ateez song? Oh, shake your body, shaboom. Okay, Curry Jersey is back. I don't know how to. We are going to talk specifically about the NBA. And I just love timing, because jhope literally just was at the Lakers game like 2 days ago. So he knew that I was going to come out with this video. So hi, Hobie, hi. At this point, it is so normal to see K-pop idols being invited to basketball games. $1 money. Give it to me. A K-pop idol promoting your brand equals sales going up, equals money, equals cha-ching. Shake your body, shaboom. K-pop stans love to spend money. If you are a K-pop idol and you post a vape, the vape is sold out. K-pop stans will tune in for that 2 seconds to see Yoongi. And maybe they'll end up staying and watching a game, and maybe they'll become a fan, and there you go, more fucking money. And when he did the collab with NBA, there were a bunch of people that weren't K-pop fans that were buying it anyway because it was to support their favorite team. But there were K-pop stans that the NBA did not target to that now is targeting to, just solely off the fact that it is a Suga collab. They don't give a fuck about basketball, but guess what? They open up them wallets, baby. So overall, there are so many similarities between K-pop stans and sports fans, and just K-pop and sports in general. And while K-pop and sports are definitely disliked by the general public because of the fans, exclusively the fans, In my opinion, I feel like only one of these things are taken seriously, even though both are incredibly similar, and that is sports. Steph Curry, 4 NBA championships, maybe it'll be 5, hopefully this season, because, you know, Jimmy Buckets. 2 regular season MVPs, 1 finals MVP, 11 NBA All-Star selections, 2 All-Star Game MVPs, and completely changed how the game of basketball has been played for the foreseeable future. Now let's go over BTS's accolades. Between 2014 and 2023, made an estimated $29.1 trillion, 11 American Music Awards, 5 Grammy nominations, 67 Dasangs, which is basically the highest award you can win as a K-pop act, and they have fucking 67 of them. They sold out 90,000 seats in the Wembley Stadium within 90 minutes. They sold out a 4-date 65K stadium tour and pre-sale in 15 minutes. And to top all of this off, they've, in my opinion, changed the way K-pop is been viewed and just changed the way K-pop is. Both Steph and BTS have done so much for their respective industries that they're in, and the reason why I chose them is because I feel like they are a part of the industries that they're a part of, and they're not only amazing at what they do, but what they've done and their impact has transcended what they're a part of. Only one of these people is taken seriously, and that's Steph Curry, and treated with respect by the overall public, even if the overall general public that does not watch these things, does not watch sports, know jack shit about them. But in particular, if you have accomplished so much, you know, world tours sold out, selling out 90,000 seats in however many minutes, #1 every single time you come out with the song, you do all this stuff, and you're a boy band, you're not taken seriously by the public. Why? Because you're liked mostly by women. Young women and quarter life to middle-aged men are both 2 target demographics. Both take up most of either fan bases. The women are seen as jokes, and things they like shouldn't be taken seriously. If it's liked by women, it's viewed with either disdain and unseriousness, further pushing the thing that was built on, created by men, about not taking women seriously. Femininity is seen as shallow and stupid. Whatever gender you identify as, that has been consciously and subconsciously forced upon you from birth. Male artists that have a widely female fan base are automatically seen as not masculine. And not being masculine, if you're a man, whatever you define as, or whatever society defines as masculine, is very negative. Means you're not taken seriously. Male athletes who have a widely male fan base are seen as someone to be taken seriously. I'll put the quote up here, but this girl is basically saying that every single thing she liked, she had to show its validity to other people. If a woman or women like it, it is worthless. It's seen as immature. It's seen as not something to be taken seriously. You have to try and defend and prove its validity when it is an artist that is mostly liked by women, or tailored music that is tailored towards women. It's not serious music. Rom-coms have no substance. Boy bands don't make actual real music, and the color pink is disgusting. Y'all see my shirt? It felt valid. It felt valid to the conversation. So here we are. Women throughout our entire existence, we've made pretty big strides. I would say going from being considered property to being able to vote, pretty good. Our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs and actions were not considered valid because we were not seen as valid in being humans. As society has progressed, we've been able to enter spaces that we once were not allowed in because of men. And while that is great, just because we are now in these spaces doesn't mean we're getting treated fairly. Like, that's being like, yeah, so segregation ended, so racism does not exist anymore. Society has ingrained in everyone that women are just not valid. So anything having to do with femininity, or if it is seen as valid from the eyes of a woman, or it is validated by a woman, then it's not valid. You can make the argument that boy bands exist for women, men confessing their love to women, how much they want the girl, how much they do anything for the girl, how much they're worshiping and in love with the girl. And once again, anything attached to femininity and just women in general is seen as weak and not valid, especially if you're putting a woman on a pedestal. Are you fucking kidding me? No, you're supposed to call women bitches, and all these bitches exist for you, and don't trust no hoe, and women only exist for you to have sex with them. You putting them on a pedestal, being like, oh my god, EXO by Enhypen, the lyrics, the Korean lyrics, the translation. I said, oh my god, you're my moon, you're my stars, you're a goddess. Oh my god, no, that's disgusting. Like, it's gonna be hated by a lot of insecure men. One of the reasons why women turn to and really like boy bands in K-pop specifically, because boy bands in K-pop are very different from boy bands, for example, in the West. While One Direction and BTS are both boy bands, they're still so different, because there were still things that One Direction, while not considered masculine because of the fact that they sang about women and the demographic that they had were mostly women, they were still doing things that were seen as masculine, and were things that K-pop groups did that One Direction at the time would never, ever fucking do. There are a lot of things that are normal in the K-pop industry that are displayed by K-pop idols that completely go against, you know, toxic masculinity, not even toxic masculinity, that completely go against what is societally masculine and masculinity in America. At least it is normal and required for all K-pop male idols to wear makeup, and I'm not talking about like the news anchor makeup where it's like a little bit of concealer, a little bit of foundation, whatever. No, like full on, like a smoky eye moment, eyeliner, mascara, some lip tint. The outfits are genderless, sleek, and slender. Yes, yes. And I obviously cannot speak for every single woman. I can't speak for every single woman that are specifically attracted to men. But from a lot of my friends that I know and a lot of stuff that I've heard, and me myself, we are attracted to confidence. There is nothing more confident than a man being open to trying different things, especially things that are deemed as by society as negative. If a man does it, and obviously this is a generalization, there is definitely a higher chance that if you are a straight man who does wear makeup and does paint their nails and is comfortable, you know, pulling the skirt out, takes part in things that is seen as more feminine by society, that you would be more open-minded, and that open-mindedness makes women feel safe. Men that are able to tap into their femininity, things that society and a lot of men deemed weak, a lot of people will assume you have more of an open mind and that you like women, not are attracted to women, but like women. How am I supposed to feel safe around you and want to be around you and be attracted to you when you hate femininity and everything about me? Out of all these fandoms that exist, K-pop stans and sports fans are the most similar. So the next time you want to judge a K-pop stan, maybe don't throw a stone at our glass house when you are literally just a K-pop stan but in another font.